Count of 3, we're going to chant the whole Hare Krishna mantra, so you can put your hands in the air, both hands. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we're going to sing the song that you probably are familiar and also you've been here before. I think Jaden is going to put the words on it. Jaya Rama Rama Jaya 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 So it's nice to be back here on my feet, literally, after some time. And is there anybody here who is here for the first time? Okay, we've got a couple of people. My name is Kirtida, and we're going to be having a little talk to read from one of our texts, and then we'll all get an opportunity to ask anything or we can discuss together amongst ourselves. I hope this will be relevant for you, even for those who are here for the first time. First of all, I wanted to ask you is is there somebody in your life who inspires you? Then I would like to also ask you that why is that? And I'm not sure if you could just think about it for 20 seconds. Just who inspires you and why, and then if anyone wants to volunteer to just share it, everybody else, so we can see a little bit who inspires us. And no right and wrong answers, okay? Just whoever inspires you. Go on, please.
The other day we were sitting behind Durham Cathedral, just on a set of steps near one of the doorways, and it was a sunny afternoon, light afternoon evening, maybe four of us sitting as friends just having a chat, and this lady walked past. She came out of the cathedral and she walked past and she said, "Oh, you've brought a lovely sunny afternoon with you." And you know, she didn't know us from anything, but somehow she wanted to credit us being there with the fact that it was a sunny afternoon. And that kind of inspired me, that she was in such a generous spirit. You know, because the sunny afternoon was taking place, it wasn't really down to us, but she wanted to somehow credit a bunch of strangers with bringing the sunny afternoon, so I thought that was really nice.
Look at Durham Cathedral.
Yeah, Durham.
It usually rains there.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Who inspires you and why? Okay, yes.
Recently, I was reading an article,
Uh-huh.
and I got really inspired by Arjuna. Because maybe people don't know the story, but he was a warrior. And in the battlefield, he felt like, okay, I will not fight. He was scared, and he would not fight. And at that time, Krishna, the supreme god, was with him. But at the same time, he could not fight for him. You see, and he had to do it by himself. So in the same way, it says, even though we have so many problems in our lives, God is always with us. But there are some things that we are meant to do by ourselves, just like Arjuna. And this really inspired me in that sense, why sometimes we need to make a move. We can't just rely and say, if there's a God, good things will happen, or bad things will happen. So we need to put the endeavor, basically.
Good, like the food doesn't walk into lion's mouth, kind of. Anybody else? Yes, please, go
I
on.
felt inspired by your song here, by this wonderful atmosphere. I felt from the first second a huge joy in my soul, and I'm so happy to join you here today.
Right. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Is everyone else shy? Okay, go on. Thank you, please.
Narada Muni.
Uh-huh.
Narada Muni is the spiritual master of many amazing devotees. Vaishnavas like Dhruva Maharaj, for example. And it's amazing how he constantly chants and travels everywhere in the universe, unchecked. I think it's pretty amazing how he's always in amazing pastimes and usually instigating even more amazing pastimes to take place. So I find him and his actions, his words, his advice very inspiring.
Thank you. Okay, go a second.
I guess we can't not mention the Hare Krishna mantra.
Okay.
Being as here we are in the Hare Krishna temple, and presumably we're all inspired in that direction. So the Hare Krishna mantra, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, is such an amazing thing that Krishna's agreed to kind of be present and fully present in the sound vibration of his holy name, and that we can be with him completely by immersing ourselves in chanting. So that's a huge inspiration.
Great. Okay. So why I asked this question was because I suppose I was kind of thinking of what am I trying to share with you today, and I had this idea that I wanted to share something about reflections on inspirational yoginis. Okay? That's like a female term of a yogi and yogini. So that's what I was hoping to share with you today. Who inspires me? And I don't know, has anyone ever heard of a lady called Maitreyi? Some people have heard. Maitreyi from Prihat Aranyaka Upanishads. Her husband was a great yogi or a learned sage, and they had a long marriage. And then, when they were getting older, one day he was preparing to leave the home and accept a renounced order of life. So when he was leaving home, Maitreyi asked him that, so you are leaving us now? So what have you left us? Imagine not just now anybody, if you've got a partner, if you're married, if you've got a family, and then the half of the family is planning to leave home and say, I'm just going to go off to the hills and I'm just going to meditate and you won't see me ever again. So what would you ask in that situation? So she inquired, and then her husband explained that, well, I've divided all our possessions equally between you and the second wife that he had. So you are very fully taken care of. And then Maitreyi said, is that all? She inquired that, are you going to give me, is that going to make me immortal, what you're giving me? And then the husband said, well, of course not. You know, money can't make you to live forever. So then Maitreyi said, well, I don't accept this. That you're not leaving this house until you give me the knowledge that makes me immortal. So I thought that was quite amazing thing to ask, you know. Oftentimes we might have ideas what we would like to have in this world. But she definitely wanted immortality. So that's inspiring. Then there is another lady here. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Does everyone know about that? Or Bhagavad Gita you might have heard. Well, there is another book that comes after Bhagavad Gita. This is called Bhagavad Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this book there is on the third canto, the whole book actually, it's a very thick one. It talks about one lady. And her name is Devahuti. So she's a bit like Maitreyi, in a sense that she got married when she was a very young girl to a very famous sage called Kardama Muni, and they lived very happily together. They traveled a lot the world. I don't know how many of you like to travel, especially when you're young, yes. They traveled a lot. He provided her a beautiful home. They enjoyed a very long life. And they had a family, beautiful family. And then one day, he was going to leave her. Because he was a yogi. That's what yogis do. At some point, they like to dedicate themselves for spiritual practices and meditation. So now Devahuti, she said this, by the way, here, okay, I've got the third canto, chapter 23, text 51. I'm not sure Chaitanya said he was, okay, that's Mahamantra Prabhu. If you can find that, and then we can just read that verse, what Devahuti said to her husband. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So here we go. Maybe we can just chant that together in call and response. Devahuti Ruvacha.
Devahuti Ruvacha.
Sarvam Tad Bhagavan Mahyam.
Sarvam Tad Bhagavan Mahyam.
Upavaha Pratisrutam.
Upavaha Pratisrutam.
Atapi me prayanaya.
Atapi me prayanaya.
Abhayam datum arhasi.
Abhayam datum arhasi.
And here is an important word, abhayam. Okay? We've got, hey, he's a boy here. We've got a baby in our community who's called a boy. Okay, he's next door. Anyway, you can meet him. And that means someone who is fearless, who is not fearful at all. So the translation goes here, or maybe we can chant word for word. Devahuti.
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 That's the name of the lady. Uvacha.
Uvacha.
Said.
Said.
Sarvam.
Sarvam.
All.
All.
That.
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 Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
Your Lordship.
Your Lordship.
Mahyam.
Mahyam.
For me.
For me.
Upavaha.
Upavaha.
Has been fulfilled.
Has been fulfilled.
Pratisrutam.
Pratisrutam.
Promised.
Promised.
Athapi.
Athapi.
Yet.
Yes.
Me.
Me.
Unto me.
Unto me.
Prapannayi.
Prapannayi.
And one who has surrendered.
Unto one who has surrendered.
Abhayam.
Abhayam.
Fearlessness.
Fearlessness.
Datum.
Datum.
To give.
To give.
Arhasi.
Arhasi.
You deserve.
You deserve.
Translation. Sri Devahuti said, My Lord, she's addressing her husband, Kirtida, you have fulfilled all the promises you gave me. Yet, because I am your surrendered soul, you should give me fearlessness too. Purport. Devahuti requested her husband to grant her something without fear. As a wife, she was a fully surrendered soul to her husband, and it is the responsibility of the husband to give his wife fearlessness. How one awards fearlessness to his subordinate is mentioned in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who cannot get free from the clutches of death is dependent, and he should not become a spiritual master, nor a husband, nor a kinsman, nor a father, nor a mother, etc. It is the duty of a superior to give fearlessness to the subordinate. To take charge of someone, therefore, either as father, mother, spiritual master, relative, or husband, one must accept the responsibility to give his word freedom. Has got 10 subject matters. One of them is called Poshana, which means how Krishna protects his devotees. So this verse will talk about how Krishna will come and protect Devahuti. And here Kirtida Muni is going to explain to him that although I'm going to leave home, your son Kapila Dev is going to instruct you how you can become free of fear. How can you become immortal? So that's the verse. And let's just read that one first. Saeva Bhagavan Adya Helananna Kananyanaha Grihesu Chato Kramyanam Yasvanam Pakshaposhanaha. And here the important word is the Poshanam, Krishna who protects. Translation. Not considering the negligence of ordinary householders like us, that very Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in our homes just to support his devotees. So here he's very confirming how this is what Krishna likes to do. He loves his devotees. Krishna, Supreme Person, Supreme, he loves his devotees and he likes to help them anytime. So Kapila is going to instruct. Let's look at it a little bit further. Now Devahoti is asking, it's chapter 25, text 11. And I'll just chant the Sanskrit and then we can read the translation. Tvam vakataham saranam saranyam sapritya samsarataror utharam yikyasanam prakrite purusasya namami satparmavidam varistham. Translation. Devahuti continued, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take shelter. Now, Devahuti is talking to Kapila Dev, to her son. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists. And I inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman, and between spirit and matter. So, those of you who've ever studied any kind of Indian philosophy, you will have heard of the word called Brahman, which means that's the word for spirit. It's a very important aspect of Indian philosophy because generally the understanders, they want to understand what is reality, what is illusion, or in other words, what is matter and what is spirit. Or we could put it another way, who are we? What is our body? And who is the person who pervades this body, that makes this body alive? And there is a big difference in Indian philosophy for that. So this is what Devahuti is asking in this verse. He wants Kapila Deva to elaborate what is the difference between matter and spirit. And interesting thing here, also the matter and spirit, they stand for the words man and woman as well in Sanskrit. So he's also inquiring, because sometimes there is a misunderstanding that I hope we'll come to a little bit later on in our discussion, that people might sometimes understand that Indian philosophy is misogynist. It's something against women. There is something bad about women. And that's a big misunderstanding. I hope I can address that. So Devahuti really wants to know that Ato Tada Brahma Vidyasa. Now it's the time to inquire, what is Brahman? What is spirit? Who am I? Why do I have this temporary body that's going to die and it suffers? And how can I make a solution to this suffering? And that is a yogic worldview. And it might sound a bit strange for someone who hasn't encountered this worldview before, but it's a yogic worldview. Any thoughts about that? Any questions?
I just
Yes.
wondered, because Devahuti was the husband of a great yogi, and she'd been with him for so many years, why she was asking such basic questions.
Why she was asking such basic questions?
Yeah, because that's the kind of questions that we might ask when we come along here for the first time. It seems she was actually quite an elevated person, and her husband was an extremely advanced yogi. So it just occurred to me, I just thought the subject matter seemed to be quite at a very low level.
Right. Well, I think it's an interesting observation. One of the things that Devahuti explains in one of the verses, that I didn't really realize how an advanced yogi you were when we were enjoying and traveling together in the world, and I was just looking to you as someone who is satisfying my desires in this world. So that could be one way. I would say that devotee is lamenting like that. But then the other way, oftentimes, if we read these texts, is that we understand that these people who make these inquiries, they kind of do the kind of inquiries that we should be doing. So that might be another way to look at and understand that devotee is asking those kind of questions that we can all ask, who are not maybe, or some of us might be very advanced yogis, but some of us might just feel that I'm just an ordinary person, who is trying to understand about things. Is that okay?
That's right.
Yeah. Any other bhakti? Yes.
There's also the possibility that, of considering it from the point of view that it is basic, it's the ABCs of spiritual life that are being discussed, but and to understand those things in theory is relatively simple to do. But to put them into practice and to understand them fully on a personal level, to apply them in your own life, and to raise your consciousness to the level where those things become real for you. That's a long job.
Yes.
So even if you might have understood those things for years and years,
Theoretically,
yes, and you might have even been living your life on the basis of those things, you still may not have fully appreciated what they are.
Yeah, I like that. Because how many of us have thought about it? Yes, this body is temporary and it's good. Like I know I've been practicing yoga since my early teens, and now I'm 51. And it's getting more tough, because the body is actually starting to break down. I can't hear, I can't see as well. A few months ago I had I fell off my bike and I had a little fracture in my hip. Ooh, if you ask me the next day when it happened, have you realized you're not the body? I was in tears. And I was dragged off my morphine, because the pain was so intense that I couldn't handle it. So, thank you very much for reminding us of that essential. There's a big difference between armchair philosophy, understanding something intellectually, and actually living it. Thank you, Daniel. So, let's look a little bit further. Now, Mahamantra Prabhu, can you go to the chapter 27, text 6? Now we are going to get to the real stuff. Bhakti was mentioning how there is a difference between theoretical knowledge of something and then how to apply that knowledge. So how is someone who wants to understand they not matter, we are Brahman, we are spirit, how are we going to understand that in our daily life? That's the question. It's a big question, it's a really important question. And in this verse, Kapila is going to give devotee practical yogic tips, which are applicable to all of us as well. And let's, I'll just read the English just to move on so that we'll hopefully manage to cover as much as possible. One has to become faithful by practicing the controlling process of the yoga system, and must elevate himself to the platform of unalloyed devotional service by chanting and hearing about me. So basically, I wanted to discuss a little bit about the word yoga, because I don't know what does yoga mean to you, if I asked you. What do you understand yoga is? Anybody, just in general? Yes?
To connect.
Okay, to connect, yes. What else? What is yoga? How do you understand that word?
Sitting postures and breathing exercises.
Sitting postures, breathing exercises, asana, pranayama, yes. Okay, bridge from body to spirit. Any other? What is yoga?
Relax the mind. Relax the mind.
To relax the mind. It's like a tool. Could you call it like that? It's a method that can help us to relax our mind. Self-awareness. Okay, that's a good one as well. To understand your own body. To understand your own body. Yes, very good. So you can see, if we just think about the word yoga, we have all different understandings. Now, Bhagavatam this book has got very particular understanding of yoga as well. And I'd like to share that with you. There is actually 3 aspects that, according to Bhagavatam, yoga can be practiced. And how it's recommended we can practice it. And the first level is the level of mind. Now in Indian philosophy, again, the difference is made between our tangible body, the male, female bodies that we have, and then our subtle body, which is the mind and intelligence. These are the tools that we use every day. We can't put them under a microscope, we can't see them as such, but we all know that they exist. So the first level or one of the levels of yoga, and the most important, according to Bhagavatam, is the mind. What are we thinking? Where is our contemplation? What do we meditate on? Do we meditate on getting nice new shoes? Or, next meal? Or what are we meditating on? And then the second level, how we can practice yoga according to Bhagavatam, and what Kapila is giving Devahuti advice on, is body. And now we talked about that connection. So there is a word in Sanskrit called tapas. Tapas means like austerity. It actually means heat. So when you do something with your body, and that refers to all sorts of physical activities, like I would call it developing good habits. I don't know how many of you, if you feel you've got bad habits. Has anyone got any bad habits? Things that you wish that you wouldn't do, like biting nails or digging your nose or I don't know what, overeating, doing something. So good habits. Yoga is all about developing good habits. Things like cleanliness. It's recommended that yogis take a bath every day in the morning. When we wake up, it's very conducive. It helps us to practice yoga. Also, it's recommended to be regulated in our eating, regulated in our sleeping. Try to go to bed around the same time every day if you can. If you want to be a good yogi, it helps. Try to eat around the same time every day, your meals. And that might be different for all of us. We are all individuals, unique individuals. One man's food is another man's poison. But regulation is very conducive to yoga. And then diet. What do we put in our mouth? Because what we put in our mouth, it manifests in different levels. I don't know if you've ever realized, did you ever eat lots of chilies or something really hot? And then there is a tendency to get agitated. It affects our body and mind like that. So recommended diet is the vegetarian diet, according to Kapila Devi. And then also sleeping, not to just sleep too much or try to sleep too little. And then we fall asleep when we're supposed to do yoga and meditate. That's not good. Work, also it's supposed to be balanced. Not that we work like 12, 13 hours every day and then try to do yoga. How is that possible? It should be balanced. Same thing, recreation. We should have sometimes fun according to yoga philosophy. That's good. So balance between all these different activities. That's the yoga of the body. And then third level of how we can practice yoga according to Kapila Devi. He talked about, again it gets a bit more subtle now. We might be doing all the yogic things with our body, and we might even be trying to do yogic things with our mind, meditation. But now we come to the more subtle level, which talks about our intention, our attitude when we do these things. Why are we doing this? Why are we practicing meditation? Why are we practicing yoga? Is it because I want something for myself. I want to become famous. I want to become recognized as a great spiritual person. Or maybe I want to, acquire lots of money or whatever it is. What is it? And also, who am I doing this for? Very important part of yoga. So yoga encourages us to be self-reflective. We don't try to compete with others. We are just working with ourselves. So we can ask ourselves that what is our driving force for yoga practice? This is what Kapila is instructing about. If you want to become free from fear, if you want to become immortal, practice yoga. Understand the difference between matter and spirit. Any thoughts about that? Anybody? Any comments? Oh, why don't we? Would you like to do something practical? Would you like to try the Hare Krishna meditation? Good. Eka Chakranath, can I depend on you to pass out beads?
Yes.
Good. He's my
If I can
right-hand man. He always knows. So, what we do now, although I discussed all these different levels of yoga practice, but according to again this book, Bhagavad Purana, the most recommended method for this age, for this particular time when, we all live very disturbed lives somehow. We don't live like in a beautiful, quiet location. We've got lots of commitments, jobs and families and money pressures and mortgages and whatever else. Mention it all, what we've got to deal with. So Krishna has given us a very sublime method of meditation and yoga practice that we can take home, and it doesn't cost us anything. So I'm going to share this free gift with you today. We've got these meditation beads. There is 108 beads, and those of you who've never done this before, what we do, if you're right-handed, you can hold the beads on your right hand. If you're left-handed, then do it on the left, whatever is comfortable. And you would hold the beads, and you see there is one larger bead here. So we'll start the next bead after that. This is Krishna. It's a bit like Krishna's peacock feather. It's got a little. So we start after that. And we hold the beads in our thumb and middle finger. And then on each bead, we say the Hare Krishna mantra. Would you be able to put it up there in case someone doesn't know the words? So I'll just show you. And what we can do, we usually do it aloud, we verbalize it, because it helps us, our mind can slip otherwise to other things. When we become more advanced, we can start to only meditate on mind, but generally, as a group, we do it like this. We say it aloud together. So, let's try one time for everyone who haven't done this before. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's it. That's one mantra, one beat. Do you think you'd like to try 108 times? It would take us about 10 minutes max. You feel ready for a challenge? And now you can put everything else out of your mind on a hat shelf. Don't think of anything else. Try to just concentrate on the sound. You can even close your eyes if you want, or just try to hear the sound. And we'll try to do it in unison, so then we'll finish at the same time, if that's okay. So are we ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So please feel free, if you like, you can take that mantra home. You can sing it in the shower. I don't know if anyone here likes to sing in the shower. I sing in the morning. You can do it anywhere. So in bed, when you're walking, if you get stuck in a traffic jam, always very accessible. Great. So I think we've come up almost to our time limit. Has anyone got any questions about what we spoke so far? Any thoughts? There was the last thing I think I mentioned in the beginning that I would address. Would you like to hear about it? About the misconception that sometimes people have about Bhagavatam's presentation. So we would go to the verse, it's chapter 31, text 42. So sometimes if we read these texts, there are statements like this. Oops, text 40. The woman created by the Lord is a representation of Maya, or illusion. And one who associates with such Maya by accepting services must certainly know that this is the way of death, just like a blind well covered with grass. So, these kind of statements sometimes are taken without understanding complete picture. If we can go to the text 42 next, we can see this verse is considered to be Mahavakya. Maha means great, Vakya is a speech or statement, and it kind of puts everything in context, those kind of verses that I cited before. And here, Kapila Dev, because what happens is that many times if you read these kind of yoga texts or Indian philosophy, they were spoken to a particular audience. Can anyone guess what kind of audience they were spoken to? Male sages, that's right. So when you're talking to a group of primary school children, you're going to talk in a certain way, isn't it? You will use examples that are relevant to them, that they can understand the challenges they might face. If you're talking to a group of male sages, you will talk in a certain way. But now we can see Kapila Dev is talking to Devahuti, who is a great yogini, his mother. So here Kapila Dev says, a woman therefore should consider her husband, her house and her children to be the arrangement of the external energy of the Lord for her death, just as the sweet singing of the hunter is death for the deer. So, what is the point then? How would you understand what is the essential teaching of the Shastra then, or the Yoga Shastras about? Is it hating women? Is it hating men? What would you say? Okay, Satya.
I think it's about seeing other partner, I suppose, husband, wife, children, not in relation to themselves, but in relation to the original proprietors in the sense of the Supreme Absolute in Krishna, from which we all come from. So you see a context, other context is small span of that eternal time where I'm in this body and my wife or my husband is related to this body, so I kind of own the person as such. Rather than this person always existed before I was there, in this way. So seeing that in the absolute sense is probably getting seen, temporary sense, claiming ownership.
Would anyone else like to offer any other insights? Yes, Rajendra.
There's a quote from one verse, I can't remember the exact verse, but Srila Prabhupada says that in this life, in this material life, we're all like twigs, like pieces of straw floating on a river. So sometimes we are brought together by the waves, and then eventually we are all scattered away again.
Yeah.
So in this material life, everything is temporary. Even our family, our belongings, all the money we have, we will leave everything behind eventually. And developing over-attachment to all these things is only another source of suffering. And this verse is also said for the males as well.
Yes.
I think it's 331, first country. It says like family life is a cause of suffering if you are too attached.
So yes, I would agree with that. That the point what the texts are making is the attachment. That's what we all have to watch. We all might have different types of attachments. It might be the opposite sex, male, female, or it might be female, female, or male, male, or nowadays in a modern society, people have male, female, female, male, or all sorts of attachments. Or maybe it's the internet. Maybe that's taking most of our time. Maybe it's our iPhone. We always on it. Even when we try to talk to our family members, whatever it is, that where our attachment goes, what steals away our time, which is limited in this world, that's what the verse is talking about. That's what we have to watch. So that's something I wanted to just share. So just to round off, Devahuti was given advice to make difference if she wanted to become free from suffering, if she wanted to become free from fear, if she wanted to become immortal. Kirtida Devi is instructing her she should practice yoga. She should differentiate between matter and spirit, understand what is reality, what is illusion, and then Kirtida Devi instructed her she can practice this yoga, this connecting process with her. Can anyone remember what were the different ways how you can practice yoga? Mind, body, and what was intention? Yes, the subtle way. Why are we doing it? Whom we doing it for? And so forth. So that was there, and we don't want to fall in. And what's the big danger for any yogi? What's the biggest pitfall? Attachment to things which are temporary. So we want to be attached to the Supreme. We want to be attached to the Spirit. We want to be attached to Brahman or Krishna, whatever you call it. That's where yogi's attachment is. Great. And of course here, if you read, I was hoping to whet your appetite to get this third canto of Bhagavatam. If you don't have it yet, on Tuesday there is Krishna Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance day. I fully recommend you. We've got beautiful sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can purchase them for very good price in the temple shop. Chaitanya Vallabha will be very happy to help you. So please, if you haven't got it, get it. It's a beautiful book. Because it describes how Devahuti, she became totally free by practicing these instructions. She became totally free of fear, and she became totally blissful and spiritual at the end of her life. Okay, thank you very much for all your attention, and we're going to continue. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Grace Kirtida Devi.
Jai.